Path Real Estate Radio with Jason Bible. Get the answer to your question.
Boy, that's awfully quiet. Nikki, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Just turn up my headphone mic. Or my headphone
Okay.
mic. No, I got it. I'm doing it on my end.
Get ready. The guide that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817.
Hot mics in
Toll free
3,
877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Jason Bible.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate, 713-785-1817. I'm a little worried about today's show, and here's what I'm worried about. We have a webinar on Wednesday. We have almost 500 people signed up for that. We have our event on Thursday. I'm teaching people how to find deals, how to market for real estate deals. If you're interested in that, go to rightpathrealestate.com. And then we've got a special event on Friday. And here's why I'm worried about talking about these things on the radio right now. We have a zillion people signed up for all that stuff. It's a good problem to have. However, I will tell you this. Those of y'all who are coming out to our Thursday night event, it'll be the last event in our new office. Oh, everybody say collectively, oh. Here's why. Our events are getting so big, we've already outgrown the space we just moved into 6 months ago. I was worried this might happen. Don't get me wrong, it's a good problem to have, but we've already exceeded our space. Let me put it that way. It's just the last event we had, I think we had 160 there, but a lot of people didn't sign in as it got really, really busy. So I think we had over 200, and that's a lot of people. So this Thursday night, we'll be here at our office. The next events that we have will be, unless they're smaller events, will be at a different location. Just go to rightpathrealestate.com or go to our meetup group, and you'll see all that there. So we're going to talk Wednesday night at the webinar. Unlimited seating, I think, at the webinar. I'm not sure how big our webinar account is, but we've got just about unlimited seating at our webinar event. I'm going to talk about how to work as a real estate investor in this environment right now. I'm getting calls from realtors on my cell phone. I don't know how they got my cell phone, but I'm getting calls directly to my cell phone from realtors representing clients whose houses were damaged during Harvey and they don't want to rebuild. So I'm getting phone calls. Our acquisitions team are getting phone calls. Our office is getting phone calls. Our lead coordinator, we're getting all kinds of phone calls of folks who want to sell their house. So I'm going to talk Wednesday about how to work in this environment. You know, there's part of this is business, and a part of this is emotional intelligence. You know, how to go out there and work with homeowners who, quite honestly, have literally lost everything. And not only have they lost everything, it's all sitting on the curb. You know, there's one thing when you go back to a house, and let's say it's experienced a fire and it burned up everything. I mean, you really don't recognize your life at that point. Everything's kind of charred remains, and there is some stuff you can recognize, and that's emotional. It's a whole nother level to have all this flooded stuff sitting on the curb that you literally pass by every single day as you're continuing to get stuff out of the house. So we're going to talk Wednesday night about how to buy real estate in this environment. And then the second thing we're going to talk about Wednesday night are the valuations. Like, how do you value these properties? I did a Facebook Live. I haven't gotten to all the comments yet. I did a Facebook Live last week, and somebody had said, no, Jason, you understand, houses are still selling, you know, at the pre-flood, pre-Harvey prices. And what they don't realize is that's true until what? Inventory starts to kick up. You know, inventory will come. There will be properties that come back on market in two forms, and in 3 different stages. They're going to come back as is houses that have been flooded. They're going to come back on the market as houses that are completely rehabbed, that were flooded, or they're going to come back on the market as houses that have never been flooded, never been rehabbed. So you tell me what those houses are worth. Nobody has a clue right now. Is someone willing to buy a house that only flooded once that's completely rehabbed? Is that considered top of the market? Or is a house that's never been flooded, never been rehabbed in the same neighborhood going to be the house that's going to be considered top of market? We don't know. My suspicion is, regardless of whether the house flooded or not, if that neighborhood flooded, it's going to have a negative impact on the value in the short term. You know, we've got a house I went and picked up a generator out of on Friday, and I drove the rest of the neighborhood. And I've been real tempted not to drive neighborhoods right now because I don't want to be driving in there, clogging up traffic when people need to get in and out and get debris removal in and out and all that other stuff. So I went pretty late Friday. So there weren't a whole lot of contractor traffic in and out of the neighborhood. So I looked at our house. There were 2 blocks in the front of the neighborhood, if you will, and there's not really a front. This is in Memorial, but there's 2 blocks. Interestingly enough, 2 blocks closest to Memorial didn't flood. And then, of course, as you get closer to Buffalo Bayou, those houses flooded. Our house was on the street that got a handful of inches of rain. I mean, maybe 10 or 12. And we got 10 or 12 inches in the house. And then you started going closer to Buffalo Bayou behind our house. And the section near the back, I kind of got turned around in the neighborhood because you can't recognize anything in these neighborhoods anymore. I mean, it's mind-blowing. I got turned around towards the group of houses that sit right on Buffalo Bayou. And the debris piles were almost as tall as the 2-story houses. And if you're familiar with Ashford Hollow, those are some very tall houses. They were built 50, 60 years ago, but, I mean, they were tall back in the day. I mean, they had ceilings are 10, 12 feet on both floors. I mean, they're tall houses. And I'm driving in my truck, and I'll tell you what, these debris piles were 15 feet tall. There's a whole street back there where you literally can't even see the houses. You see piles of debris, which means, and when I mean debris, I mean sheetrock, insulation, appliances, contents in the house, piled up so high that you can't even see the house. All you see is debris pile, driveway. Debris pile, driveway. That's all you can see. And these are big houses. This is a very affluent side of town. So big, beautiful, 30, 40, 50-year-old houses. And driving through there, what was fascinating is I was looking at the folks who were there. There were still people getting stuff out of houses. I mean, I don't want to say we're a month post. We're probably, 3 weeks into this? We're going into the 3rd week. The storm come in the end of August. So maybe we're going into, third and a half week here. And what I noticed is, and I think this is the case in a lot of neighborhoods, it's their parents' house. And their parents are in their 80s, 70s or 80s. Well, the kids are in their late 50s, early 60s. The grandkids are there. The grandkids are in their 30s and 40s. So what I think is going to happen, and this is the value proposition for our company, a lot of these houses are not going to be rebuilt by the people who own them now. They're just not. You're 80 years old. You're not going to manage a rehab. I know some people will. Some people. We got some friends of ours. Their parents were flooded in Memorial. They'll build back. But a lot of them will not. So what's the impact on the market for homes that were adversely affected by Harvey? What is the value of those properties that were not impacted by Harvey, but other houses in the neighborhood were? There's this common thread right now in the real estate community that thinks that those houses are going to be worth more. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if your neighbor's house took water and yours didn't, your house is going to be valued just as it's going to take just as a much value devaluation as the one that did flood. Because the thinking is, well, if that house flooded, mine's 2 doors down, why wouldn't it flood? I mean, that's the deal. So I think we're also going to see a lot of inventory that pops up on the market. It's going to be real interesting. Next 6 months is going to be real interesting. Chatting with some other folks that looks like it's going to take FEMA 3 or 4 months to get their checks to them. I think that's about right for most people. So inside these 12 months, You're going to see people who get checks from FEMA for insured properties, people who don't. They're going to think FEMA's going to come in and buy their property out or write them a big check. They're not. I'm telling you that right now. They are not. That's not going to happen. And then we've got for most real estate, for most mortgage brokers, mortgage companies, the federal government has come in and said, hey, you guys need to offer a 12 months forbearance on their mortgage. And that is absolutely happening. So what does that mean? There's a lot of people who are holding on to hope who weren't insured, who are not having to make a mortgage payment for 12 months, who will then be in the foreclosure process about a year from now. What you're looking at with Harvey is a 36-month cycle. This is going to take about 3 years. It's going to take about 3 years to get the houses rehabbed, to figure out what the new valuation is. For those homeowners that won't make it, that'll go through the foreclosure process, they'll end up going through the foreclosure process.
1 minute.
For those businesses that thought they were going to survive, they won't. This is a reshuffling of the market. This is no different than like a 2008. It's really not, guys. That's one thing I got to get everybody to realize. This is no different than 2008. Some neighborhoods went under, some didn't. And that's exactly what we're seeing out there. So if you're reading like the HAR report that comes out that's citywide, be very, very careful with that information. You need to look at the individual neighborhood. We get back from the break, I'm going to talk more about the housing crisis that is Houston, Texas. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mic's off.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest IRA is based locally here in Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA, we offer retirement accounts that can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs. To tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S., call Quest IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website, questira.com.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available. You just have to know where to look. Look no further than Noble Mortgage. Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825 or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property?
Yes, I am.
Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832.
You guys want to look at one that Fast Track just finished for us? Carriage Hill.
At
It's on the street called Carriage Hill.
Fast Track
It's gorgeous.
Remodeling specializes in turnkey
We
remodeling
just,
of single-family investment properties.
posted some
Whether
pics.
it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the
All
work
right, we're
yourself.
about to
Fast Track
come back.
Remodeling
Okay.
really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817.
All right, Jay. Hot
And look
mics
for us
in
on
3,
Facebook Live
2,
at
1.
facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. I heard some interesting data the other day. We were looking at our metrics for our show. And keep in mind, this show gets broadcast all over the place. So it's hard to figure out exactly how many people listen to the show. We're on terrestrial radio here, but we're also on iHeartRadio. So we get a lot of people that listen nationally. And we're on Facebook. And we've got podcasts of the show. Directly after the show, they get uploaded to YouTube, iTunes, and TuneIn. So we're literally like all over the place. So one metric I heard the other day, we had our web team that does just our Facebook stuff. So just our Facebook audience, we have a group of 10,000 people that watch at least 25% of our videos that we put out. It's 10,000 folks. I had no idea. So we've got a lot of people that listen across country. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the views as always. Please put comments in the comment section there on Facebook Live. We like reading the comments, and then we get to your questions as the show unfolds. So if you're ever interested in supporting our show, we do bring on radio show sponsors from time to time. We also have a vendors list of vendors that we work with that our members and students work with as well. If you're interested in becoming one of those folks, you've got a roofing company, you're an inspector, you're a CPA, you're an attorney, any of that sort of stuff, just send an email to support@RightPathRealEstate. Again, that's support@RightPathRealEstate. And we can get you signed up as one of our preferred vendors. We got a lot of people watching, and it's definitely very, very reasonable to be a sponsor of the show and get those leads. So in any case, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the housing crisis that is Houston, Texas. One of the few newspapers I actually read anymore is the Wall Street Journal. So there's a great article in the Journal. Let me see what it's titled so you guys can go to it. Texas cities struggle to house thousands displaced by Hurricane Harvey. Again, the Wall Street Journal, Texas cities struggle to house thousands displaced by Hurricane Harvey. It's in the Wall Street Journal under the U.S. section. I was reading through here this morning, and the real paragraph, 2 paragraphs that I thought were real important, like a lot of articles that are written these days, they always start with this anecdotal kind of story, get you drawn into it so you read it. But it really takes you really got to read halfway down, almost to the end of the article these days to really get what's going on. It's just the state of journalism these days. Anyways, so about a quarter of the way into the article, there's a paragraph here. According to data culled by the state from cities and counties, an estimated 50,712 homes suffered major damage in the storm. 14,952 were destroyed, and 76,364 saw minor damage. According to local officials, at least 130,000 single-family homes in Harris County, which includes Houston, were estimated to have been affected by the rampant flooding here in some way. Between 2,000 and 3,000 large apartment buildings likely sustained damage, and up to 5,000 smaller apartment buildings may have been damaged as well. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of units at this point, hundreds of thousands of homes. So, however, Houston has millions of homes, so it's obviously a percentage of that, but it's hundreds of thousands of properties here. And we know that all of these are not going to be rebuilt by the current owner. We're buying houses from homeowners who both live in the house and real estate investors who do not live in the house, that are rental properties. So I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of inventory that's going to be coming on the market. And you're going to have to be very, very careful as an investor what your exit strategy is. Now, if you're someone who wants to build wealth using a buy and hold portfolio, in other words, you buy something, you rent that property out, and you hold on to it for a number of years, you need to be working real hard right now. You need to be looking for houses. Now is going to be the time to buy those properties. Now is the time to be picking those properties up. You need to be out there working hard. Financing is there. People are financing. Title companies are open. Stuff is getting closed. But you really need to be in those areas of town that you want to be in and buying those houses. If you're a flip investor or a wholesaler, you need to be real careful. I'm seeing wholesalers blast out deals. Well, what they think are deals. And, boy, the first people in those neighborhoods that are flipping some of those houses are going to be in for a rude awakening. One of the things we like to say are pioneers get shot. And there are a lot of folks that are going to be neighborhood pioneers. However, I do think there's a very small window here where you can get into a neighborhood, you can do a rehab, you can put it back on the market, and it gets sold quick. But I think starting in about 6 months from now to about 18 months, it's going to be a very rocky adventure. Why do I say that? There's going to be a lot of inventory that comes on the market. Unknown. We don't know how many, but we do know it's going to be way more than was on the market before Harvey. Some of those will be flooded houses. Some of those will be rehabbed houses. Some of those will be non-flooded, unrehabbed houses. So what's the value here? Let me ask you guys a question. Probably easiest way to ask this to get this point across. What happens in a neighborhood when 3 or 4 years worth of inventory is now on the market? Let's say you sell 20 houses a year in that entire neighborhood, 20 houses. And all of a sudden, 60 more houses end up on the market. What's going to happen to that market? Are prices going to rise? Are they going to fall? Are they going to stay the same? Here's what I can tell you. Regardless of any storm, let's just set all those variables aside. If you tripled the amount of inventory on any market, you will have two things that happen. One is days on market. In other words, the time it takes to sell a house increase. And what's the second thing that typically happens is that equates to a lower price. You're competing, keep in mind, you're competing for the same pool of buyers. Now, here's what's interesting. A lot of people were displaced from the storm. Where are they going to live? If you're selling a house that's been previously flooded, is someone who got flooded out in another neighborhood going to buy a house that was affected by Hurricane Harvey? I don't think that's the case. Talked to a lot of friends of mine, talked to a lot of homeowners. Probably the most powerful story I heard was a friend of ours, and she said when she was putting a life vest on her kids in the middle of her living room to put them on a boat to go to a shelter, when they were leaving that house, she said, "This will be the last time we ever live here." So I could just about guarantee she's not buying a house that's ever been flooded, ever, even in Harvey, ever again. She's not doing that. A lot of families with small kids. And this is kind of an untold story. I have not seen it hit the major news media yet, but we know it's happened. We've talked to some families that when it starts raining, their children start having panic attacks. Like, is it going to flood? Mom, Dad, is it going to flood again? I mean, It is incredible what has been burned in the mind of some of these children. I can tell you right now, mom and dad, no matter what it costs, are not going to buy a house that's ever been flooded. There are a lot of families like that in Houston. And don't get me wrong, we're all Houston strong. But if that's your current family situation, are you going to rebuild that house that you just evacuated from? My guess is you're probably not. And here's the reality. It's up to us, real estate investors, to go in and rehab these houses. Because FEMA's not going to do it. The county's not going to do it. State's not going to do it. It's going to be up to us to go and rebuild these neighborhoods. Who else is going to do it? Nobody else is going to do it. You think FEMA's going to show up with 10 18-wheelers full of sheetrock and insulation and electrical and cabinets and flooring and countertops and doors and trim and all? No, they're not showing. They're not doing that. They're going to write checks and leave, which is fine. That's really what FEMA's job is. FEMA's job is not to rescue people. It's to write checks. That's all their job is. And who are they writing checks to? Homeowners that are insured, or for rescue operations for the local municipalities. That's really their job. Of course, some of that changed in Katrina, but their job is to write checks. So who's going to do the work? Oh, it's real estate investors. Guys like us. Going to go out there and buy those houses. If you've always wanted to be in real estate, or you've signed up for a lot of real estate education in the past and it never really worked, you need to come out to a Right Path Real Estate event. Our weekend retreat, the VIP section is completely full. I would imagine our general admission will be sold out probably by Wednesday after I get done with that webinar. The general admission is $300. It is the best deal in real estate. If you're interested in going, send an email to support@Right Path Real Estate, or just go to our website, click on the event calendar, and then you can sign up through the website. But I'm telling you, folks, you need to learn how to do real estate now, because the next 6 to 18 months is what's going to separate the wheat from the chaff.
1 minute.
I haven't even talked about real estate investors going into bankruptcy yet. That is about to happen. A lot of real estate investors out there who had half, a third, 2/3 of their entire portfolio destroyed in the storm, and they have no insurance. And FEMA is going to do nothing for them. And be very careful with those Small Business Administration loans. Those SBA loans can be real tricky with what they require from the borrower. I'll tell you this, the investment community's gotten real quiet, and I think there were some people out there swimming without any swim trunks on. That's an old Warren Buffett quote. Everybody looks smart when the market's up. What happens when there's a change in the market? Then that really separates those who are professionals from those who are not. And I'll tell you, folks, you got to get ready for it. There's going to be a lot of opportunity out here. When we get back from the break, I'm going to talk more about our weekend retreat and what's changed after Hurricane Harvey. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
I guess I better check the questions here. Let's see. Did we get any questions yet? Oh, we do.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it.
Morning, Michael.
Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure
Morning,
over
Mr.
30,000.
Milan.
Contact Benchmark about our exclusive
Jeff, I'll get to your
package.
question.
Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Have you ever experienced the pain of trying to get MLS comps for your hot lead? If you've lost deals waiting for MLS comps, you can understand the frustration.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
How much would it help you if you no longer had to wait for a real estate agent to get you the info you need to close a deal? Propelio is a brokerage website that gives you instant 24/7 access to high-equity lead lists and comps with access to a network of the top real estate agents. Get an edge on everyone else. Get a free 7-day trial today by going to getmlscomps.com now. That's getmlscomps.com.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree. Single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
Are you expecting to close accurately,
All right,
on
1
time,
minute.
and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817 and look for us on
All right, Jay. Hot mics in 3, 2, 1.
Real Estate.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Want to give a big thank you to Matt Downs down in Corpus Christi. We had a great event on Saturday. We drove down there. I got to present on how to run real estate like a business. It was a great crowd. Fantastic event. If you guys are in Corpus Christi, I'd look for the meetup group. They meet there on Saturday once a month. A couple of our buddies were there from Houston. I think they're going to end up doing some presentations there as well. Great group, brand new group, and they're growing fast. So it's a good group to be in. So thanks, Matt, for the invite. Also took Andy came down with me, and we went through Rockport. And Rockport was really where the storm hit, and it's fascinating. It really is. That city is going to be. They've got their challenges right now. One of the things a lot of people may not know is that when a hurricane blows through, it destroys all of your critical infrastructure, the most important being utilities. So in that part of the country, they don't bury electrical lines. You really can't. The water table is so high. So a lot of their transmission lines are telephone poles, electrical poles that run in and out. And it was amazing to me driving up through Rockport and then up to Houston, up to Sugar Land, where they had gone in and replaced all the utility poles. They didn't even bother fixing them. Like the transmission lines were so torn up, they just said, forget it. And they just went in and were putting in all new poles. It was amazing to see. The problem is that the closer you get to a city or a town, the worse the damage is because of the population density. So trees were blown over transmission lines. I saw substations that were just completely like imploded. It was like a like some kind of big robot came and just crushed all the substations into pieces. I mean, the devastation is incredible. So it's going to take them months to be able to get full power and utilities in those areas of the country. But we drove through there, and the one thing that was shocking to me, and when you look at the difference in devastation between Houston and Rockport, is in Rockport, a lot of trees, a lot of fences, a lot of roofs. And if there was anything, it was a sheet metal building or a building that hasn't been built, let's say in the last 15 or 20 years, it was destroyed. Saw a lot of barns out in the middle of nowhere that were just decimated. So the newer construction stuff, they'd have fascia ripped off, half a building, let's say KFC or Pizza Hut or whoever went in there and built some, single location deal. You'd see half the siding and the fascia ripped off the building, a couple of windows blown in. But other than that, it stayed in relatively good shape. But older houses, just completely decimated. Roof ripped off, garage door blown in, and the house blown on top of itself. Just amazing. So they're still dealing with a lot of damage. If you want to help, those are the places that really need our help. Beaumont does, Rockport, those areas of town. And I noticed that just about every big parking lot in Rockport would have 5 or 6 of those pop-up shades, and people were taking donations and distributing those right there on the spot. So for those of y'all who are listening to the show who are saying, Jason, how can I help? How can I help? It's going to be places like Rockport. Now, Beaumont's obviously on the east side of Houston, and Rockport's southwest, but it's going to be those outlying communities. Houston has got a ton of resources. There's a lot of people locally that are willing to help, literally their neighbor at the neighborhood next door. But those smaller communities, the whole community was impacted. The whole city was decimated. So it's hard for them to get help from their neighbor because their neighbor's trying to get their house up together. So if y'all are looking to help, Rockport's only about 2.5 hours from Houston, and then Beaumont's a couple hours too. And I need to reach out to Barber and Lake Charles, but I think Lake Charles just got decimated as well. So if y'all are looking to help, those are the places to really help. Don't get me wrong, Houston still needs help, but those smaller areas of town, it's just, the devastation's amazing. You drive through there, it's the whole town. It's not like in Houston where you duck into a neighborhood and then you can zip out and everything's fine. It's the whole city. The whole city is just in peril. It's tough. We were driving by right there in Rockport, kind of there, I don't want to call it town square, but it's right there by the bay. There were tents set up out there. There are people living in tents. I assume some of those folks are some of the aid workers that are going to help, but it's like, it's tough right now. A lot of RVs, a lot of trailers down there so they can house people, and then, of course, housing the rescue workers and all that other stuff. So highly recommend if you want to help out, those are the places to help out, the outlying communities that really that's where the hurricane landed. And just the other thing that was amazing was when you got outside of Rockport, you were in all those cotton fields. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen to the cotton industry because a lot of that stuff was destroyed. It was right in the middle of harvest. And we saw some storm surge that was literally miles from the coast, or miles from the beach. And we could see the debris line up over the road we were on into the adjoining field. Hundreds, if not thousands of miles of storm surge. It was really incredible. You didn't see it on the news because it's pretty rural. So I'm getting some questions here. Hey, Jason, I found an REO flooded one time. Made offer through intermediary agent to the bank. House had 6 inches of water, but is still not auctioned by the bank. How long is the typical turnaround for a bank to respond? Given the special circumstances that are going on here in Houston, I can't imagine there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that ends up at the auction. I could be wrong. Every bank does their foreclosures, does their short sales, does all that stuff completely differently. However, it says, but it was still not auctioned, so technically it's not an REO just yet. It's a distressed asset. It's a non-performing note on the bank's balance sheet. And I'll tell you, going after those deals, unless it's a small, local bank, it's going to be tough to pull those out as a non-performing note out of a bank's portfolio. If it's one of the bigger banks, they could wait. They could take years to write these things off and finally take them to auction. But I'm willing to bet, at least with the bigger banks, you're not going to see a whole lot of movement for the next 12 months, I bet. I bet it'll be at least 12 months. Let's see if we got any other questions here. Let me check real quick. So that should give you an idea of what's going on here in the market. Let's see. Oh, a couple more questions here. Do you feel okay about buy and hold strategy for the medium term, say 2 to 3 years? Yeah, absolutely. Here's what'll happen. Right now, we're still in shock. This city is still in shock. There's a big conference coming into town, a big boot camp coming into town first week of October, if I remember my dates correctly. And a lot of those people, it'll be a couple hundred, probably be a few thousand, 1,500 people that show up. Most of them are going to be from out of state. And a lot of folks are asking, hey, Jason, how can we help? I mean, what's going on? And I said, look, if you really want to help, put on a pair of leather gloves, steel-toed shoes, and a mask. And get out there and help those folks that still haven't done any demo. But the other thing I'll say is that when you get into town, it's going to be you don't see the destruction. You have to go into some of these neighborhoods. Some people think the entire city of Houston's underwater, and that's not the case. It's only certain sections of the city, and they're pretty small when you get in there. I mean, you can have one street that took 5 feet of water, and then you have next street that didn't take any. I was chatting with our acquisitions manager, LT, and one of the things he had told me is he said he's turned the elevation on his GPS in his car, and he said you can see it now when you go into a neighborhood, and all of a sudden the GPS sees a 5-foot elevation drop, which you normally really don't see. When you go across the street and it drops 3, 4, 5 feet, you really don't notice it over the span of a block or two. But he's had his elevation on and said you could see it. Just like driving a topographical map. I mean, you drive into a neighborhood and it's 2, 3, 4 feet over a couple hundred yards. You don't really notice it. But then, when you're looking at it on GPS, you can see, yeah, now I know why this section flooded. I'll tell you, I've got a running list of the neighborhoods that were flooded. And it's interesting to see the names of the neighborhoods that flooded. Lakes. In the description of the neighborhood, it has the word lakes, creek, river, all that sort of stuff. Why? Because those areas are next to lakes, creeks, rivers, bayou, that sort of thing. So it's been fascinating to see all that kind of unfold. But, are we good over the next 2 to 3 years? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I did some studies. One of the reasons I was in LA, we're talking about, building this fund to go buy a lot of these properties that
2 minutes.
If they end up on the market, will destroy homeowners' equity. So one of the things we want to do is go in and buy large numbers of properties in a neighborhood and control the inventory, control the release of inventory, so these poor homeowners don't lose $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in equity in their homes by having their markets flooded with all these homes for sale. So one of the things I've noticed, if you looked at the previous two, if you look at the tax day floods and then the Memorial Day floods from the last couple of years, what you'll notice is that if it was the first time a house flooded, it would almost reach its pre-flood ARV about 12 months later. Now, I think this storm is completely different in that it's going to take a few more years. But for those of you who are homeowners and real estate investors and you're worried about the value of your house, if you can hold on to it for another 5 years, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I think Harvey will be a afterthought from a valuation standpoint, and put it that way. I mean, it'll still be fresh in everybody's minds when you live through it. But from a valuation standpoint, your house will be worth, if not more, than pre-Harvey, at least 5 years later. So I know that to be the case because we can look at studies from Tropical Storm Allison, from some of these other things, with one exception, and that is if they start buying houses out in your neighborhood. However, we're only talking about a couple hundred houses out of nearly 200,000 that flooded. They're not going to buy. FEMA's not going to go in and buy a lot of these houses. We get back from the break. We're going to talk more about Harvey and real estate and the impact. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611, and let's talk about how we can help you on your next transaction. NMLS 514497.
You found or inherited a great investment property. Problem is, you don't know how much it's worth, or more importantly, what to do to maximize your investment while mitigating risk. This is exactly why we started Next Gen Appraisals. Next Gen is a group of appraisers specializing in investment real estate. We understand that investors aren't just looking for a number of what their property is worth, but a comprehensive analysis of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911 or check us out online at nextgenappraisals.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product for repair is a lot like a game of chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license, nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing. We've got free weekly educational classes, networking opportunities, and the ability to tap into trillions of dollars for your real estate investing deals. Come by our office or join us remotely as we simulcast all of our educational classes every Tuesday morning and evening. For more information, call us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or visit our website at questira.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing. Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
Have you ever experienced the pain of trying to get MLS comps for your hot lead? If you've lost deals waiting for MLS comps, you can understand the frustration. How much would it help you if you no longer had to wait for a real estate agent to get you the info you need to close a deal? Propelio is a brokerage website that gives you instant 24/7 access to high-equity lead lists and comps with access to a network of the top real estate agents. Get an edge on everyone else. Get a free 7-day trial today by going to getmlscomps.com now. That's getmlscomps.com.
Are small returns getting in the way of your retirement plans? Why settle for mediocre results? There's a better place to invest. The experts agree, single-family real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This
all right, we're coming back
to accredited investors.
This is Business 1110.
Call Jason at 713-785-1817.
All right, Jay, hot mics in 3, 2, 1.
Facebook.com/RightPathRealEstate.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate. Just trying to get to some messages here. Folks are sending me stuff. I'm now starting to get things from all over the country. Hey, I got a friend of mine, got flooded out. They're waiting for their FEMA check. Would you come by the house? All that kind of stuff. So we're trying to help folks out as fast as we can. I will tell you this. We are one of the largest home buyers in the city of Houston right now. So if y'all are interested in selling a house to us, just give us a call. Just go to Houston. Our house buying company is called HoustonHouseBuyers.com. You have probably heard of it because we've got a zillion billboards all over town, assuming they didn't get destroyed by Harvey. So we're, like I said, one of the largest, HoustonHouseBuyers.com. All right, let's talk more about real estate and Harvey. Look, guys, now's the time to start getting educated because things are changing rapidly. In fact, in our mastermind group, which is what we call Base Camp, that happens on Thursday nights, that's really what's dominating our discussions in our group is, hey, how are things changing? What do you see in your neighborhood? What do we see here? How do we mark down the valuation on these properties for flips versus rentals? How do you wholesale it? What's the rehab environment going to look like? What's the impact on construction costs, materials, and labor? I mean, we're having all these high-level discussions right now. We don't sit around a room and talk about, what's an assignment of contract. It's a high-level discussion. And folks who go to the weekend retreat, we have a discussion about what Base Camp and Pathfinder is. If you're interested in doing that, highly recommend you sign up now. The Houston retreat, which is at the end of the month, the last weekend of the month, is darn near full. It only has a couple of spots left. Our next weekend retreat will be in Dallas, DFW. So you can sign up for that. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. And that one I think is the second or third week I think it's the third week in October. Go to rightpathrealestate.com. It's all there. Guys, we got a webinar coming up this Wednesday. And we've got our event, How to Find Real Estate Deals. I'm teaching a class on marketing. Thursday night, come on out. Again, go to rightpathrealestate.com. You can sign up there. Tom and I are also building our fourth company. I know a lot of you wanted to be involved in what we've built the last three. If you're interested and you're a leader and you really want to work hard and help us build this thing, I need you to send an email to support@rightpathrealestate, SUPPORT, support@rightpathrealestate.com. It is not a real estate related company, but it is a financial services and insurance company. So support@rightpathrealestate.com, and we will invite you to an event on Friday. I want to thank you guys so much. Tom will be here tomorrow. Build Your Team Tuesday. He'll be going through and interviewing 3 of our radio show sponsors to help you build your team. These folks are 10s at what they do. So please bring your questions. I always tell our radio show sponsors, I hope you guys studied up because you're going to get some hard questions. We only save the hard questions for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we will see you guys then. Tom will be here in studio with those folks. We're also on Facebook Live, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, iTunes, all that stuff. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed here at 9 a.m. It's Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
All right, Jay, have a good day.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Find Jason